They're in the water we drink, the food we eat, the clothes we wear, and the air we breathe. Microplastics are everywhere, but research on the health impacts they pose is just beginning. Researchers at McGill University hope to shed some light on this after developing a novel method to replicate 4 types of microplastics commonly found in the environment. And joining me now to talk more about this is Audrey Moores, co-author of the paper, which was published in Environmental Science and Technology. Audrey, good to speak with you.
Great to speak with you, Maralee.
First, maybe give us an idea how replicating microplastics in a lab can help us better understand their impact on our health.
Well, you have to imagine, Maralee, that as you said, we know that we can find microplastics everywhere. So you would think like you could go in the sea and go and fish some microplastics there and then test them. But that actually doesn't work very well. First, because it's hard to go to the sea to do that. Then because you have a lot of algae and other stuff that gets entangled in and it's hard to clean them. But then the bigger problem is that even if you manage to catch that and to store it and to stock it, you have a mixed bag of stuff. And then the next day you go back and you have a different mixed bag. And it's very, very hard to run scientific experiments when you don't have a rigorous and standardized source of microplastics. So what we propose is to have a way to make that.
And how do you plan to pull this off?
So the idea is that we're taking some plastic pieces that are coming from commercial sources like plastic films. And what we could do is we could break them down to microplastics in the lab when we control exactly what we put in there. So we know exactly what type of plastic we have. And that had been done before, that's not so new. But what we could do is we could really work on the chemistry of the surface as well as the shape of the surface, the ruggedness of the surface, to make microplastics that really mimic what's in the environment. So what we did is we took 4 plastics, we created microplastics with them, we texturized them, we created chemistry on it, and then we compared them with what you can find in the sea. And this is where we realized that we can really mimic them very well, while at the same time controlling completely the size of the particle, the nature of the particle, the chemistry at the surface, as well as the ruggedness at the surface.
What are the next steps then?
So what we're trying to do now is to use this model in order to really test some things. So we have ideas about testing certain types of co-contaminant that can be present in nature with a microplastic. So imagine, for instance, having other types of pollutant that could interact with the microplastics. So what we're trying to do now is to use our model to try to mimic that.
Now, I know this is just the beginning, but how far off are we from, better understanding the impact of these microplastics?
Yeah, so I think it's still going to take a lot of time to do that. And I think a lot of the reasons why science has been slow is because of the challenge to actually source these microplastics. So what we hope is that our work can then be taken by many labs around the globe and that we can accelerate this research so that we will get there. So we really hope that this is a way forward for us.
Fascinating research. Audrey, thanks so much for sharing it with us. It was great speaking with you.